Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, welcome to your favorite show, Daily Trend Francophone Edition Season Finale. We are delighted to be back and happy to have your attention on this educative, informative, and entertaining show dealing on current affairs in New World TV channel. So catch us live every Wednesday at 12:13 and 7:15 with a repeat every Sundays at 12:15. Otherwise, you can follow us on YouTube via the Daily Trend playlist on YouTube channel or Facebook. So for this first episode, what do we have in store for you? We're going to be talking and sharing experiences on the 21st century's topic, the climate change. Get the details with this video.
We are on a highway to climate hell with our foot still on the accelerator.
The UN Climate Science Agency has been carrying out research into global warming for decades. Here are some key takeaways from the latest reports.
It's hot out here.
Humans are unequivocally to blame for rising temperatures. That's according to the 2021 report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC.
It is indisputable that human activities are causing climate change and making extreme weather events more frequent and severe.
For the first time, the report's authors called for urgent action to curb methane. Until now, the IPCC has focused on carbon dioxide, the most abundant greenhouse gas. In February 2022, the UN Climate Panel released another seminal report on how we should prepare for a warmer world. It urged countries to adapt to impacts including frequent heat waves, stronger storms, and higher sea levels. It also made clear that different regions face different risks, and millions of people face poverty and food insecurity in the coming years as climate change hits crops and water supplies and threatens to disrupt trade and labour markets.
We must take bold alternative action today to secure tomorrow.
Another major report highlighted for the first time the need for action at the individual level. Published in April 2022, it called on governments to agree policies to change consumer and transportation habits to encourage less waste. The scientists also warned that only drastic emissions cuts in the next few decades would prevent warming from spiralling out of control. It said energy transition to renewable sources and clean-burning fuels is moving too slowly, and that climate change is threatening economic growth.
Some government and business leaders are saying one thing but doing another. Simply put, they are lying.
Yes, sir. So this is the reality of the 21st century, and here we are to examine it and debate, talk on what is actually climate change. I'm not alone. I'm along with two gentlemen. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
You're fine. And you?
Okay, are you ready for the show?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, before developing the topic, I would like first for us to know exactly what is climate change. Actually, how can we define climate change, Mr. David?
It's for this topic is very important topic. So, what do we understand by climate change? According to the UN, climate change is the shift in long term, and the UN is saying that since 1800, human activity has been the one causing this climate change in our society. But we cannot talk about climate change without mentioning two elements here, which are the climate and the weather.
Yeah.
So we need to understand what is climate and what is weather.
Yeah.
So when we take, for example, weather is just talking about a general, like a rainstorm, every temperature each day.
Periodic temperature.
Periodic temperature. Yeah. So when we come to climate, it is like something that is all about the changes we are facing in the society as we are seeing it today. Yes. So it is very important to mention these two key points, which is climate and weather.
Yes, I think that's very interesting because I also want to mention that scientists say that there is 94% chance that human activities is the causes. Through the video, we have seen a lot of things, a lot of disaster around the world that is happening, and we have just said that the causes are from the human activities. Can you just, Mr., tell us one of the cause of the disaster that we're seeing, or of the climate change?
One of the cause
that for the climate change, you said it's women activities. Now it's up to know what are those activities that
of
contribute
course.
to the climate change. You know, in the video just now, there are some people throwing some waste in disorder without any control of the waste. So if we throw our waste like this, it causes some floods and inundation in some areas, in some countries, where very soon in Pakistan, it happened. And even in, how do you call it, a country like this, even more than 200,000 people
are dying.
in the
Let
flood.
us not also forget about the green gas emission.
Gas
Emission.
Only that,
Because the green gas emission, what is it about? It's just about a building in a wall glass and also a roof glass. So is also our activity each day is bringing these causes we are facing in our society through the CO2 and the methane,
nitrous.
all these activities we are doing every day are bringing a hot temperature, a weather unlivable to us.
Talking about the greenhouse gas, we have to know that years before the Industrial Revolution, it was hard to talk about climate change.
Of course.
There was some climate problems. But the problem is from the Industrial Revolution, the problem is that the gas emission, the GHG emissions, is now going to is no more normal.
Normal, yeah.
Okay, so it's always higher, going higher and higher. And what are the activities? We can talk about the transportation industry. The transportation industry, the producing of cars, the factories that are producing cars, and even when we are walking on our streets with our cars, it's emitting all the time the carbon dioxide.
Especially the transportation industry. Let us just take that point. The transportation industry, as we have seen it in the video, see the gas these cars are emitting. See this kind of gas. Come on.
It's very polluting.
It is very polluting the society.
And also in some area where the population is over, you see the number of people that are using cars, and also due to regarding the quality of the cars, the dilemma of the car. So this is what makes make the car emitting some kind of.
I just want to take the example of Lagos. Actually, you know, Lagos is a very big city. And in that very city, we have a lot of cars. But the problem is those cars are in, I may say, the second-handed.
Second-handed.
They are imported. They are imported from Western countries after maybe 10
Even very soon, I saw on the internet the second-hand cars that are used in the United States that are spoiling and destroying and contributing to climate change. They are exporting it to Togo. So all those cars, you know that they are no more of good quality. So they will bring it for due to our financial capacity also.
We are the one consuming, and we are the one using them. Let us talk about electricity and also gas we are using at home today. This is also one of the genesis of the climate change problem we are facing in society. We are using certain things that are polluting and also harming us, but we continue using it. So a lot of things.
Mainly when we talk about
some waste that we burn at home, like our old clothes, our plastic, and sometimes when we want to clean your house, there are something we take out and we burn those things. All those things, they contribute also to the climate.
And while they are contributing, actually, that's the emitting of the carbon dioxide. But we can also talk about let's talk about deforestation, because what we have to know is that plants are the primary source of oxygen and they absorb carbon dioxide in return. So as the urbanization is taking place, we are cutting trees as to make homes, we are cutting trees as to make roads, and it's making that we are lacking oxygen. It's normal enough for all of us, for all of the inhabitants.
As far as the population is growing up, If we take the whole population, the whole population in the
Yes.
world today, we are more than 7 billion.
Now we just reached 8
It's
billion.
8 billion.
See?
8 billion
So
around the world.
Any person is looking for a place to live. So you have to cut trees to build a house. You have to cut trees to develop companies. Even your paper that we are using, they are created by.
Of course.
We are cutting them without planting.
Yeah.
And this is like what is the thing is all about. So when we are trying to cut, at least let us try to provide, because we are trying every day and we are bringing down trees.
Unfortunately, let us also tackle the main one for me is the oil industry. Let's take the example of Qatar. Do you know Qatar today? The entire development of Qatar is based on oil industry.
Yeah.
And it's making that even citizen of Qatar, when you talk about the carbon footprint, actually the carbon footprint is the indicator that measures your individual impact on the environment. And most of the time, when you are a rich person, you don't often work on cars. You have what we call jet privé.
Private
Plane. You are private. You have your own
Private
that's
jets.
when we have planes are among the most emitting
pollution. Polluting.
And that makes it very hard.
Because they fly in the air, they pollute, they emit the gas in the air, and that is even easy for the air to share.
Let me tackle our leaders. It is very important. Recently, they went to COP27 in Egypt.
By using planes.
What did they use to go over there?
Plane.
They use plane, isn't it?
With purpose to fight
But
against
we are trying to fight against something that we are not conscious about, but we are the agents that you are perpetrating this scam.
That's why actually the main focus should be on human activities. We cannot do without it at some
And
point.
let me come back to my country. When we take industrial fact like domain in our country, let's just go to Zone Franche. Can you just take a look, go over there and see, just stay somewhere and look at a kind of gas this industry or this company are emitting.
And let's see now the consequences, because the consequences are a lot. We may talk about the flood in countries. We have China, we have
even recently in Nigeria. All over the states, Kano, a lot of states were flooded, and people were not be able to live over there. Some people died.
That's what is going on in the world
recently.
And also the warming.
Yes,
very soon, many people died in France just for warming.
That's the problem.
They died in France just for warming because the temperature increased.
Yes, the increase of temperature is making that even is increasing also the sea level.
Yeah, even the United States. I think it's last January that the snow. I don't know how you call it. Snow.
Yes,
people after coming back from their office, their car they could not find.
Especially you find that in the United States of America. So in our, let's just come back to our African countries today. A lot of animals are dying. Because the earth is warming, the temperatures, they can't live.
We saw it in the video.
We saw it in the video.
Some animals
and
dying.
What can this bring? When animals are dying, because we know very well that we use this animal like a fish, we use them, we use this, some people sell it, and they gain money from that.
Yeah, so and it provides a great amount of money.
You see these kind of things we are facing. So the topic is getting more interesting, but hold on your points. We'll be going to a quick break and we'll come back to you. Once again, we are back here and to discuss and to explain more and suggest a lot of solutions. We are saying it, the outcome of this climate change we are facing in our society. We youths nowadays, we are very engaged in order to find a solution, in order to get something being done to save our future generation. Without this, we cannot live in a proper generation. Once again, now I would like to know what can be a action that we can take as a youth today in order to contribute and to develop or to fight this
Yes,
problem?
you know, one thing is we have to know is that as we said it in the beginning, that the problem with climate change is ourselves, our own activities. So that means that if we want to solve it, we should ourselves be engaged into the matter. And then over here we want to talk, especially we want to tackle especially young people. So, but as for me, I think that to talk about solutions, there are big and small solutions. Or let's call it actions, because and somehow we are not able to make bigger decisions. But what can we do basically? For example, when you are living in your home, you are living in your home, and then you have you are using electricity, and then somehow instead of turning off the light, maybe when you're going out, you just leave the light on, and that's a problem. Because it's you are consuming more electricity, and that's a problem to your level. That's why I was talking about the carbon footprint. And that can also be on recycling. Recycling today is very interesting because it gives another value to a waste. Because some people think that
also make the environment very proper and good to live in.
Let me also mention about some people, they take showers. They take showers and they use electrics, to take their showers. So if possible, they can take a little bit.
Electricity to take showers.
Yeah, of course, to warm the water.
Okay.
To warm the water.
I got it.
So if possible, they can at least reduce that. And also, as a young person, what I think personally we can do is, if possible, we can create an organization to fight against this situation. It is possible. It is possible.
The problem today is that the victims are not those people creating those damage to the environment that are victims. The victim is the new generation, the coming generation, our generation. I think Antonio Guterres talk about this, that the victim is not those people who are contributing to the climate change right now. At the time, today, some people who are living it are victims of
and what
the
should
past
we do?
actions that they do. Now, what can we do? As far as we are victims, we have to be engaged to fully committed to this.
Fully committed.
You know that every June, it is a tree, how do you call it?
Planting days.
Planting days. We can, sometimes when I see people motivated to this, it's very, very interesting. So I would like every young people to be engaging in this, and at least you too plant one tree per year. If you try to plant one tree per year,
let us
during your living time.
We have someone that is leading the government. If the government can provide a specific budget for that, and they will hire an agency like, especially the youth, because they have the vitality, the power, the energy.
I think that's one the government is already doing.
It's very important for us.
The government is doing it, and even last June, when people planted, there are some people sponsored. There are people who received some awarding. The people who was awarding for that.
Even in Togo, we have a lot of initiatives that are coming up
there are many people
from young
engaging
people.
in the
And that's very interesting. And I feel like the other aspect is that, for example, pursuing the career in sustainability-related fields. Because somehow, if you are not informed, if you don't feel concerned with the matter, it's very hard. As we are looking at the videos, because this is not happening in our countries. This is, for example, in Europe, Asia,
for UN.
And then the problem is, if you are not feeling the consequences, it's a bit hard for you to take conscious of consequences. So the thing to do is really to raise awareness to
young people.
Young people, yes, for them to be involved in that,
fully involved,
and also through the projects. Because that's why I really encouraged what we've seen. I don't know if you heard about Miss Environment.
Miss
Environment. Yes, Miss
I never heard
Environment.
about it.
This event happened some months ago
In
just
this
here
country?
in Togo.
Togo.
Oh.
And that's a very interesting initiative because it helped young ladies. Not only they are beautiful, but they also have some sustainable projects.
You look for the
Okay,
beautiful
no,
thing.
they have
They're
sustainable
beautiful.
projects to help us to better our environment.
Environment,
actually.
yeah.
And that's something to salute. And that's I also want to mention. Talking about the raise awareness hive, I've seen last time one of the MP on the in France, it was pleading on the disaster in Qatar because Qatar situation is very is very interesting because they are building stadium with air conditioners.
Yep.
I think
And that's the reality.
last week there is also something that our government should encourage, especially the young. I saw last week, I think it was Saturday, I was watching a documentary. And actually, according to UN, from this year to 2030, there will be no more fuel car in Europe. So now they are promoting electronic cars. If our government can also encourage this, I think
One point
Talking
needs
about
to be
that,
mentioned because what you say now, remember me something about something.
Yeah.
If possible, because we are using cars, if we can come now to use bicycles,
and
because
horses, at
it
the
is
time,
very
people
important.
were using
Very important for us.
Horses and so on and so
And
forth.
about the
Horses.
pollution,
You want to bring horses in urban areas, bro?
about the
Yeah,
pollution,
you can do it.
about the pollution, young people are suitable for this job, but everyone can engage in.
That's
So what the I know now we need young people to do is to, first of all, they must be conscious and know about the current situation.
That's it.
Every one of us must be agents of change and take it personal to
Yeah.
do something about it. And everywhere they must be speaking about this topic.
And
About this topic.
also we should stop, or we should tell our people living in a village to stop cutting trees and also start using gases.
Can they afford? Can they afford the
No,
money?
it's not. But
The
you know,
problem is that-
the thing is that trees are those elements very necessary for the oxygen.
Yeah.
So if we cut them, it is not good. So, by the way, I know that gas also contribute, but
This is very interesting because what we're doing currently is the kind of speaking it out.
Yeah.
Because those, for example, one village, unless they may have YouTube, newer TV channel, but if they don't have,
Some they don't have access to
cannot
us.
have the
be aware of
information.
it. Yeah, they can.
But anyway, the rate is too low when we talk about those in village.
Yeah.
But what I think is that when we talk about transport, okay, what I like, for example, in Togo is that we have a lot of motor, and if we can shift from fossil motor to the electric ones, that's going to be very interesting. I really appreciate
They're
that.
using
So
it.
one of my friends, he came in class with a motorcycle, an electric
M02.
motorcycle.
M02.
That was very
What the
interesting.
Togolese government is
M02.
developing in PIA, what we call PIA.
Yes, the PIA.
The name is
This is
M02.
what-
M-motor.
M02.
M02.
Yeah.
They are on their poster, I saw commando, something like that.
No, they are
there
good.
Are electronic motors that the government
And
is developing. That is to
For
challenge.
UN also say something during their COP27,
Yeah.
especially for big industries. They say they should try to reduce their production, at least the temperature or the gas they are emitting, at
Of
least
course.
1.5 degrees Celsius, because if not,
And also our
is very
government,
important.
especially our youth, we should do something. In our debate, I talk about importing some cars from United States.
Yeah.
We should not allow those cars to come in our country. Why
Yes.
they are refusing in those countries? Why should we receive those cars?
Not
is the
only
problem.
cars, even waste.
Waste,
Even
yeah.
waste, because when we talk about waste, there are waste that are leaving
In
Europe to land in Togo or Accra.
Accra.
I just remember I don't remember the name of the area, Abushima or something like that. That's the greatest slum actually, and we find a lot of waste over there. Actually, that seems to be like an economic opportunity for some
Opportunities
people.
for
The
some
problem
people.
is destroying the environment.
Environment, yeah.
Because from there we have the CO2 that is being emitted.
meeting. Yeah.
And
unfortunately-
also today, when you go from Kanjepe, Zangera, there are today some companies that are transforming,
Transforming,
transforming
yeah.
the waste into
Recycling,
fertilizer.
Yeah, that's
so
quite
if
a
we
good
can,
initiative.
if we can also develop this, I think it will also help not only the agriculturers, but it will also make our environment to be good of living.
And we have this system also we call Samiji Prop. Samiji Prop. Why not all engaging ourselves in it,
Yes.
especially
Samiji
because-
Pro, and are you sure that
Samiji Prop?
Why not?
Of course, I'm citizens.
This is
what we are talking
something
about.
serious, bro.
Yeah, it's serious, of course.
Yeah, it's serious.
But suppose me, I'm a student now.
Yeah.
I will leave my class.
Oh, God.
Maybe the whole week I may be going to school, and now the weekend I have to look for a job.
How many times?
You need a dictatorship.
This is not about
Because if it was the case, you should be obliged.
Let me ask
When
you.
we talk
But,
about the
yeah,
example
there are
of
some
how did Kigali made it? That's the question you should ask yourself.
I didn't get you.
How did Kigali made it?
Yeah.
That's the question you should ask yourself, because the purpose firstly is to have a clean city.
Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, that will attract
People,
investors, tourists also to come in your city, and that will help us to develop our city or our country.
I'm fully agree with you. I do agree with you.
No, that means you
but-
don't agree. You have to agree
but
with
the
what
thing
you are
is this,
saying.
yeah, let's see a fact. It's a fact. You only have the weekend.
To do
I
what?
tell you, you only have the weekend
To do what?
to have some income.
At least you can have 2 hours to clean your
You know,
your
the problem
community.
is when it comes from the top, when the order comes from the top, and everybody will be involved.
Yeah.
For example, when you say Samedi Prop, and then the shops are closed, everything is closed, that means that everybody will be involved in the.
Let me tell him something. In Nigeria, you know, I have I always travel to Nigeria. They have this system they call like a specific day. They will use for environmental. You are obliged to do it. Okay. During that day, no one will say. You are obliged to clean.
Yeah, I know.
Take care.
Even in my village, sometimes we call it 3 days. Apesi in my native language.
Apesi, yeah.
Apesi.
Okay.
There's a gong. There's a, how do you call it? Somebody that will go, and then you
town crier,
and come to for cleaning. But so
as a last word, what should you say to maybe a village citizen, talking about the climate change? What should be your advice in some words?
My advice is that we should know that we are the victim of the climate change, and if this is the case, we need to be fully engaging in this. It is not only only one person's matter. It's your matter, my matter, my problem. And also we should facilitate those people who sweep the hood. When you buy something and you eat in plastic, make sure you put your plastic in your bag, and when you give to a waste bag.
To wrap up,
going to be your last word.
To wrap
David.
up, I have 2 words. It is a proverb. It's coming from Dr. Myron. He said, if you are not happy with what you are getting, change what you are giving. It is what we are giving to the society that the society is giving back to us. So we must change that. And the second one is about, like Jim Rohn, he said, if you change, everything will change for you. Yes. If we, the agent, we change, everything will change for us in our society.
Let's be the change that we want to see in the world.
Thank you.
That's to sum up, actually. And I just want to add a cruel Indian prophecy that states, when the last tree is cut down, the last fish eaten, and the last stream is poisoned, you will realize that you cannot hit money. That's the situation in which we are. We have to know that we cannot hit money. All that we need for our surviving is in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've just reached the end of our show. As I announced in the beginning, catch us live every Wednesday at 12:15 and 7:15. With a repeat every Sundays at 12:15. Otherwise, you can follow on YouTube via the Daily Train playlist on Your World TV channel or Facebook. Till we meet again, stay blessed.